Hi, everyone. This is Heather. I just wanted to share with you a dream that I had after my Enoch dream. I had this dream on September 7th, and this dream was about America and its people. And I had this dream that America was Egypt. It's hard to describe. Everybody was dressed in Egyptian clothing, and most everyone were slaves. And there was a king above us all, and dressed like a pharaoh, and I couldn't quite make out his face, but in my spirit was telling me Obama, the Antichrist spirit. And I heard the Lord speak out to me in my dream and say, Egypt is the key to the truth.
And moments in America where this nation's destiny has been decided. Selma is such a place.
I was a young man who had an unusual childhood. I was a black kid in a place where there weren't a lot of black male role models. You know, it was the civil rights movement and people like John Lewis that gave me an anchor, that gave me a sense of what I might do with my life that would matter. I had the great honor of giving a speech for the 50th anniversary of that March on Selma.
The story of Selma connects to President Obama in a very personal way because people made a way to move our nation from slavery through segregation and Jim Crow to a moment where the nation at large could say, we want this person to lead and govern us.
To me, the story of Selma is one of the epic stories of America. On one side, the armies of the dispossessed and the marginalized and the voiceless, led by a 25-year-old young man in a trench coat and a knapsack. And on the other side, you have the power of the state that is insisting that America is only for some people and will use violence to enforce the status and privileges that have been established.
I was 11 years old at the time, and I had no idea there would be violence on the bridge. So when they lined up for the march, I got in line too. We marched up to the bridge and over it, and I saw this line of policemen lined all the way across all four lanes, state troopers. I'm standing there waiting for the front to go down, and suddenly I hear what I thought were gunshots and screams. Before we could turn and run, it was too late. They came in from both sides, the front and the back, and they were just beating people. Old, young, male, female, black, white, it didn't matter. People lay everywhere, not moving, bleeding, and you couldn't stop to help them or you'd be beaten too.
If you look at that moment, clearly the odds are on the side of those with the batons. It's not on the side of a bunch of unarmed protesters, except those folks were armed with conviction and an extraordinary courage. And at the end of the day, they won. Throughout that speech, what I tried to describe is that America, from the start, was in fact made up of outsiders and misfits and people who were often dismissed or discarded. That's what made America unique.
You are America. Unconstrained by habit and convention. Unencumbered by what is, because you're ready to seize what ought to be. The single most powerful word in our democracy is the word we. We the people. We shall overcome. Yes, we can. Oh, what a glorious task we are given to continually try to improve this great nation of ours.
Part of the reason why we thought that this excerpt was appropriate to be etched in the building itself is because it speaks to the priorities of the foundation. Our goal is not to just create a monument to my presidency, but rather to describe for anybody who visits how Michelle and I and so many others stood on the shoulders of those who had fought the good fight before us, and hopefully that then will inspire a new generation of activists. We want them to go through the exhibits and the stories of my presidency and say, oh, this is a part of me. This belongs to me.
One of the things we want people to take away from their experience is to feel empowered, to understand how they can make change once they leave. And this is something that is really modeled through the history of the modern civil rights movement and a truly wonderful example of Selma.
Bloody Sunday continues to be relevant and resonates today because we're still fighting for the same things. Sometimes we give it new names like voter suppression and police brutality. I think it's very, very important for generations to come that this history is not forgotten. It's too important to the fabric of this nation to be forgotten.
What I hope the quote provides is a sense for all those folks on the south side of Chicago that they count, that they matter. So my hope is that in the same way that John Lewis gave me the sense of meaning and purpose, that Michelle and I are able to pass that on because, it's our daughter's generation. The goal of the Obama Presidential Center is for them to be able to identify that as an institution and a space that supports them in their vision for the future. For the future.
We honor those who walked so we could run. We must run so our children soar, and we will not grow weary, for we believe in this country's sacred promise.
Hi everyone, it's Crystal again. I know it's been a while. I wanted to share with you a dream that I had 2 weeks ago. It was February 26th of this year. and it was about Obama. And this is the first time I've ever had a dream of our presidents, let alone, Obama. So it starts off with me seeing Obama, and I pretended to know him, like be his friend. And he said, and he apparently knew who I was too. And he said, "You remember what I said?" And I said to him, "Yes," but I didn't really know what he was talking about. And then he said, "I'm going to rule over Egypt and the whole world." And I specifically remember that line. And
make a video about the dream. I remember being down like in a bunker, and how I knew it was a bunker because there were stairs leading up to daylight. And when I looked up the stairs, I saw Michelle and one of the daughters standing there, but there was also Obama in the room. And what was strange about Obama was that he didn't have on a shirt. He had on pants, but he had inscriptions like carved in his body from his neck all the way to the waistband of his pants. And it looked like ancient symbols. They weren't tattoos. They weren't any ink or anything. It was his actual skin. And what was really disturbing about the dream is that all of a sudden, like a magnetic field started pulling me towards him. And mind you, his back was to me. It was as if he didn't even know I was there. And I was being pulled towards Obama, and both my hands were up as if you would, like, when the police put you on the wall and they tell you put your hands up, and my hands were up like that. And like the worst thing to me happened that could ever happen, and I bowed down and I kissed his body. This was so devastating to me because, number one, what am I doing dreaming about a United States president? I never had a dream about a president a day in my life. I didn't care to have a dream about him. I wasn't listening to any news about him. It was just so clear to me. And the inscriptions that were in his body were like ancient. I'm talking about ancient Egypt. And it was really disturbing because he never even acknowledged me. It was like my body was just being pulled towards him, and like this like vampire scene, like I was being just dragged towards him, and then I kissed him. And I remember waking up from this dream being very, very disturbed. I did not understand it. I was very upset because I didn't want to kiss him. I didn't want to bow down to him because I bowed down to him as if he was God. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? He had carvings in his body. And Michelle and one of the daughters were up the stairs. That's how I could tell it was a bunker because there were clothes hanging on, like as if he was getting dressed and he didn't put on the shirt yet because I seen the shirts hanging all around the room. And I have the scripture here in Acts 2:17, sorry. It says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yah, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And on my servants and on my handmaids I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy." So I felt that it was really important, and I guess it was really the time for me to join my brothers and sisters in Israel and know that we are a chosen people and that he is showing us who is the one to come and that he is ready to reveal himself. And we are just simple, everyday people dreaming about a Pharaoh, an ancient Pharaoh. going to let God's people go.
And in that dream, I am in a very large theater. And in that theater are all kinds of people from society. Rich, poor, could be anything. They were all sitting in their seats or somewhere maybe standing. There was a lot of commotion going on. And the room was dark. But there was nothing played on the screen. It was just gray screen. So I was walking around and it was kind of unrestful. And I was also upset about the situation, didn't know what was going on. And then I walked to the far right of the theater, next to the alley. So when I'm looking at the screen, I'm on this side. And I sit down. And then I see, about 5 to 7 meters in front of me, President Barack Obama. And he's standing there, leaning forward. He's about to walk past me. And he takes his fists and he thrusts them against his chest. And he is screaming, like really enraged, furious. He's screaming, I am. Again, he screams, I am, thrusting his fist violently against his chest. And then he dashes past me, and that's the end of the dream. Now, there's something very deep to the meaning of the words that he said, as I believe. And I want to read one small little piece out of the Bible that refers to that phrase. It's found in Exodus 4, from verse 13 on, I will read. It's where God calls Moses into leading his people, the Israelites, out of captivity of ancient Israel. You know, that scene with the burning bush, where Moses takes his shoes off. God says, take off your shoes. You are standing on holy ground. It was because in the old days, or actually even nowadays, when you leave your shoes on and you step on that ground, it's kind of like you own it, you claim it. You know? So he took his shoes off. And then he's asking God, how are people going to believe that you sent me? And then this is what happens. And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The God of your fathers has sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. And God said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations.